are you all? I hope you're all doing really well and keeping healthy. And we're coming to the end of August now, so hopefully there should be some signs of things getting better with the coronavirus and everything. I think that's the word of 2020. Right, so just in case you're wondering what we're making today, I think it's quite obvious that we are going to be doing something to do with pumpkin. So here I have a full pumpkin that, as you can see, I've cut in half and I've pre-roasted. The reason why I've done that, just really to save some time, but I'll tell you how easy it was. It was really easy. But today what we are going to be making is a pumpkin soup. Now, some of you, I think one of you messaged me last week and was asking me if I could show you some recipes that are really good for detoxing the body and really good if you suffer from constipation or, you know, you want to help for weight loss. They were the kind of symptoms you were saying. So I know August has been a bit of a difficult month where a lot of people have put on a lot of weight. A lot to do with the Eat Out Help Out scheme. People have been going out to eat and just generally being cooped up at home, not much socializing to do, and so it's, you know, you just tend to comfort food. So here I'm going to tell you, for the next couple of weeks, I'll tell you a few recipes that will really help with losing weight and detoxing the body. And a couple of you have also mentioned that you're quite constipated. Pumpkin is really good vegetable, especially if you suffer from constipation. So we are going to be making pumpkin soup. So here we have one roasted pumpkin. We've got 2 onions. We're only going to be using 1.5. I've got garlic, about 5 garlic cloves in there, and a tiny piece of ginger. The ginger really is just to take some of the sweetness away from the pumpkin. The pumpkin's really sweet, and in a soup you don't want it to be too sweet. So we're just going to add a little bit of garlic just to add a little bit of bitterness and a bit of taste, and that kind of balance the flavors. So we've got this pumpkin. What I did, I cut it in half, and then I kind of rubbed some olive oil all over it, including the skin as well, because if you rub olive oil on the skin becomes really easy to peel off. And I baked this in the oven for about 25 minutes. That's all it needs. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to peel the pumpkin off. So usually what I would do is I would kind of scrape all the flesh out of the pumpkin, and it would just come out so easy. And if I was to take it out with a fork, I just want to show you something. If I was to take it out with a fork, a lot of people, what they actually do, especially those who are gluten-free or who like to be really healthy, they would scrape the pumpkin flesh out with a fork, and then it comes out like strands like this. And then they would use this as spaghetti, as a replacement to spaghetti, because it resembles to kind of spaghetti. And it just looks good as well. So let me just show you this one again. There we go. So that's something we can try one day as well. If you're a vegetarian, you know, you could do this with some kind of beans and lentils. If you're not a vegetarian, you eat meat, you could do it with minced meat. Entirely up to you. But we can even try it with some soya corn. Right, so what we're going to do is I'm literally, because I put olive oil on the skin, it's just going to be so easy to peel. That way there'll be less wastage and more flavor. As you know, I always recommend everyone to use as much of the skin as you can. However, the skin of a pumpkin is quite bitter, but at least we're not going to be wasting too much of the skin. Right, so here we go. Now it's so thin, it's like paper. You would never ever be able to take this off like this without it being baked. And that way we're getting lots more flavor in the pumpkin as well. So let's just take all of this off. So once the pumpkin is baked in the oven, 75% of your work is already done. So you can imagine pumpkin soup is just so easy to make, because when there's something in the oven, you're not really doing anything. The oven's doing all the work. So the oven's already done half of the work for the pumpkin soup. And now what we're going to do is just kind of cut the onions and the garlic, ginger, saute them a little bit, and then add in the pumpkin with a few spices. And then once it's kind of blended in really well, then we'll just blitz it and heat it up once more, and our soup is ready. And that's how simple it is. And this is actually what I am going to be having for dinner today as well, because I feel like I've put on a bit of weight and I want to maybe just a couple of pounds here and there. So, and I'm feeling a bit clogged up anyway, so I just want to be, oh, I shouldn't have said that. But yeah, so I just want to have something a bit, you know, full of fiber. All right, here we go. you know, every other day when I'm cooking, I like to make one meal in like 2 days. That's really kind of healthy, that's really good for the system, almost like a detox for the system. It's better than going to the extreme of going on a liquid diet or going on a diet for a day or so. You know, if you make it a habit that once in 2 days you're going to make a really, really good meal that will help kind of clear the system. Yeah, I don't really have many filters on what I'm saying right now, so hopefully you get what I mean. Okay, right, there we go. And if there's any little bits left here and there, that's absolutely fine. You can leave them in. They're just going to add a little bit of a roasted kind of flavor in the soup. So I'm not going to be bothered too much with all of this. Right, there we go. And just with my hands, I'm going to give this all a little smash. And that way it's just going to be very easy once it's in the mixture with the onions. You know what? I would actually eat this as it is. I would replace this with mashed potato or any kind of form of potato, or have this with a salad. That would be like a perfect meal for me. But right now, I have made an intention to make pumpkin soup, and that is what I shall make. Right, so let me just get this off the spoon as well. So I'm going to put this on a side, and then I'm going to cut the onions. Just going to wash my hands. Right, so I'm going to get the onions now, and I'm just going to really slice the onions. I'm not going to go too fine with slicing them because I know the Blitz is going to do most of the work. Okay. And really, you just want to get them golden brown. That's all you want to do. Okay, so oopsie daisy, there's a bit of a stubborn piece of skin there. Okay, and we're just gonna not worry about whether it's fine or not. Actually, before I do this, let me just turn the cooker on. And you can choose any choice of oil, but I would highly recommend that you use olive oil. You can also use butter if you like to saute your onions. What butter would do is butter will give it a bit more of a rich flavour, and also you won't need to add in any salt. Sorry about that. So as I was saying, you can use I'm using olive oil to saute the onions. If you want, you can use butter. What butter would do is it would add a bit of flavour, a little bit of creaminess. But obviously, because the reason why I'm making the pumpkin soup is for a bit of a detox and a bit of a lighter dinner. That's why I prefer going ahead with olive oil. But again, it's entirely your choice, however you feel like doing it. I will take the camera to the cooker in a few minutes, but let me just finish off doing everything else. Okay, so we're going to use 1.5 onions. So as you can see, I'm not really worried about how big or small I'm cutting the onions, because I just want to get the flavour of the onions in, and for them to get a little bit of golden brown. They will get Blitz in the soup, so you won't really be able to feel or taste them. And I'm going to do the same with the onions, with the garlic as well. Okie doke. Yeah, you can hear the cooker, the onions blitzing, sizzling away. Right. I like to add a lot of garlic, especially when I'm making soup. I just love the taste of garlic. Of course, this is entirely your choice. You don't have to if you don't want to. And again, this is a really, really easy and quick recipe. I'm not really using much ingredients in this, except for the basics, which everybody really has. The only thing you need to buy is the pumpkin itself, which is quite available. It's in season as well. I think it cost me about £1.60, but I went shopping yesterday to Tesco's and it was there for 79p. So it's really about where you buy it from. Okay. And I'm going to put the garlic in now as well. So I want the garlic to kind of get golden brown alongside the onions at the same time. Okay. And then we'll do the same with the ginger. Okay, so I've peeled the ginger and just going to cut this in small pieces, and then this is going to go in the cooker. Now, as you can see, the onions and the garlic and ginger are sizzling really, really nicely. Oh, it's easy. Yeah. And once it's all golden brown, I'm going to add in the smashed pumpkin. Okay. Okay, I've now added in the pumpkin, and now I'm just going to give this all a really, really good mix. And I'm going to cook it with the onions for about 2 minutes, just to get all the flavors kind of mixed together. And then I'm going to blitz it. I've not even added any water or nothing in this. But what I'm going to do is, once this is cooked for about 2 minutes, I will add in half a glass of water, and that's really just going to be to help get everything kind of mixed in the blender. So I've added in half a cup of water, and now I'm not going to let this cook any further. This is going to go straight into the blender, and then I'm going to show you how it looks like. If you want to, you could eat the soup at this stage. If you like it lumpy, and you know, it's entirely up to your choice. I personally like my pumpkin soup quite smooth, so I'm going to give it a blitz. Okie doke, I have now blitzed the soup, and it's all nicely done. It's so smooth, it almost looks like it's a tomato soup from a tin. That's how lovely and creamy and smooth it is. And I'm going to plate up now. So I'm just going to show you the consistency, how lovely and smooth it is. Now, if you notice, I didn't add any spices in this because I feel like the garlic and ginger do enough of a job for taste and texture. But if you want to, you can add some seasoning on top. And really, you don't want to add too much salt in this, because if it's an evening meal, especially if you're having a light evening meal, the whole point of it is to kind of be a nice kind of detox, a smooth detox. By adding salt, you know, you're slowing down the process of metabolism. And but however, if you want to, you're most welcome to. You can just sprinkle some on top. So I'm just going to sprinkle some pepper. Oops. Sprinkle some pepper and a tiny bit of salt, just a drop of salt, and then I'm just going to add some mint leaves in the middle there. And there you go, guys. Pumpkin soup is all lovely and ready to eat, and I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and if you did, please tell me how it was, and see you next week. Bye guys.